Today is dyno day. Jorge and I are both going to Casey Max Performance in Grandview to get our cars dynoed to see how much power we make so that we can know how much weight we need to add to our cars to make them legal for our respective classes. They used to be in Shawnee and they moved to Grandview like literally 5 minutes from me. So I just left home and I'm also about to pull up at their place. On my first run, it made the same power this time that it did last time, 98. So maybe we haven't gained that much power. If it's all in the mid-range, I'll be super happy. Well, I completely misunderstood what he was saying. So when I first got here, he loaded my car on the dyno and he said, here's your power number from last time. And I said, oh, okay, so we're starting off with where we stopped last time, so I'll make a couple more horsepower. And then he did the other 3 pulls and he's like, 109. I said, what, sorry? Yeah, he pulled me over. He's like, so I've got your session from last time loaded here, and then here's your new 3 runs. And I was like, it made 10 more horsepower. So at the moment, I make 109 horsepower and 105 pounds of torque, which is 11 more horsepower than I made last time and 8 or 9 pounds of torque. More than I was anticipating. That's peak power, by the way. Lots of more power under the curve, which is great, but also at the moment I have to add 170 pounds to my car.
I guess you gotta start eating.
Well, he was also talking to me about putting a restrictor plate in the intake. He said, per his theory, if you were to like put a little restrictor right at the filter before the intake tube, you would probably lose some of the peak power but gain or retain most of the low down power onto the curve. So I think we're going to try that and maybe come back again and see if I can make something a little more conservative, because that makes me really happy but also not.
I knew it. I had a feeling it was more power.
Yeah, it's a lot more power. Can you give me a rough outline of what you're hoping to see?
Well, preferably the same power it made before, so 230. And if a little less, that's cool. Hopefully not more, because we're already we're right on tier with the weight I have to add to this car. So if I go more, I'll have to put a restrictor plate or something, because I can't do more than 2,700 pounds. Like, that's just a lot.
What did you do since last time? You didn't change
anything.
Okay.
So it should either be the same or less or more, depending on the tire pressure.
Okay.
So it should be in the 230 range.
Okay.
If it goes more than that, we would definitely have a problem, because that usually is a red flag sign. If it's less, then we'll probably have a problem too. So as long as it's within like a 10%, 5% difference, I think it'll be okay.
Jorge's in the GLTC class, so he's abiding by the same dyno rules, but with a very different goal in mind.
Yeah.
Because his power to weight is 12.5 to 1, right?
Yep.
Mine's 25 to 1.
And we have a very nearly unlimited rule set when it comes to like what we can build. So we can build within a certain spec, and it doesn't matter what it is as long as it meets that spec. So pretty excited.
I'm jealous of your lack of rules.
I know, we can pretty much do whatever the hell we want.
below the 4.5, but
Well, right off the bat, got a cold run, highest it's made is 230. But that's like, literally just pulled it off the trailer, didn't
Yeah.
drive.
yeah, if I'm gonna make another one, see where it falls.
Grid Life has this stipulation that if you go to the dyno, and you do your 3 pulls, and there's a difference of more than 3 horsepower between those 3 pulls, you have to do another pull until you get a less than 3 horsepower difference. That sounds absolutely amazing.
Forgot you had weights back there.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay.
I was just like, what was that? This thing's so much fun.
Doesn't it?
Oh my god, the noise is just so visceral.
Let me hear the gua.
This is gonna sound so amazing at the flyby.
Let me hear the exhaust. Yeah, honestly, you can't even hear the exhaust over the intake.
Yeah.
It's all coming out of right here.
You're gonna have people
It's all intake noise.
ask if you have an ITV setup.
Oh yeah,
There's no doubt. Like, it is so loud. I
It's
love
so
every
great.
bit of it. And I want to figure out how to do that same noise. I know it's gonna have an induction noise for that one.
yeah.
I want to hear the turbo like it sounded inside.
This is Jorge's Mini. He's very uber excited about it.
I'm so excited. You have no idea how long I've been wanting to get back in like something that is not a US car. Look at this. Just me.
Mm-hmm.
Except smaller. Oh, I love it.
So obviously, I'm really excited that my car sounds so phenomenal. Oh, I love the sound that it makes. But the problem is, I was not anticipating how much power I was going to gain by just doing a simple intake and exhaust mod. Because I picked up 11 horsepower and like 8 or 9 pounds of torque, which is great, but because of the way that I'm classed with power to weight, I have to... You're rolling your car in here so you don't make noise on my video.
So sorry to know you were filming.
This is better. I'm like, he's rolling a car in here so he doesn't make sound on my video.
I was just like, I didn't know if it was recording or not, so I'm just...
Given that my car now makes this much extra power, 109 horsepower where it had 98 before, I now have to compensate that by adding weight to the car, which I didn't want to do, but I just didn't anticipate making so much power. It's gonna weigh about 2,700 pounds, whereas before it weighed about 2,560 with me in it. And it's not ideal. I wouldn't have planned it that way, but my power curve now is so smooth, and honestly, I'm happy with the amount of power it makes and the way it feels. And I think what I'm going to do is just put the weight in, go drive it, see how it does, see if a heavy Sunday Cup car is a decent formula to work with. And then next year, well, not even next year, we're still early in the year. I still have my roof to swap in. I want to put a roll cage in the car. That's why I haven't done the roof swap yet, is I realized it's way easier to put a roll cage in a car if you don't have a roof on it. So I'm going to take that opportunity, swap the roof, put a cage in it, and at that point, I think I'm going to try to make that header that has the smaller primaries, because I want that low down torque, and I want a lower peak power value. So just look at my dyno graph here. So this is what my power used to look like in this car. It's got a lot of really undesirable peaks and valleys. And if you look at the new dyno graph, this is very smooth. This is lovely. I have a lot of low down torque. It starts earlier. This peak right here is kind of matched with this peak right here, and you can see it's moved back a few hundred RPM. The whole thing makes more power, makes more torque, but this is the killer. I made 98 peak horsepower before, and I now make 109. And the amount of weight that my car has to weigh is not based off of it's based off of the peak number. And if I can't push that down, I just have to weigh more. That's what it comes to. So we're going to try it like that. I'll be a heavy Sunday Cup car for Gingerman, and after that I'll change it. But this is the setup. I've done everything. You'll see my sway bar video next week, because I've already done that. Sorry to break the fourth wall, but that's it. I'm close to done. I've made some changes. I'm pretty happy with it. I've taken test drives, and man, this car is a lot of fun. I will see you next week, where we will install a downsized sway bar. How about that? You're not seeing anybody put undersized parts on their cars when they're trying to turn them into race cars, are you? Yeah. I don't do things the traditional way. Anyway. You ever just look at your car and think, damn, I love that?
Right now.
All day, every day. Jorge's really excited about his Mini. I'll see you guys later. Peace. I changed my mind.
Right here. It's my favorite part of this car. Just the doors.
You are watching the process of a man falling in love.
For the second time ever. I have not had this much feeling towards the car since my M5. And this car has drawn me just like my M5 has, and it makes me happy. Completely different cars, but it makes me happy. I cannot wait to drive this thing.
He did a timing set and a turbo repair on a second gen Mini, and then he took it for a test drive, and he came back, and I saw light in his eyes.
It was a beautiful moment. It just clicked, and I was like, I have to have one of these.
I had been trying to get him into a first gen because my heart lives with the first gens. My track car, my R53, the supercharger noises. That's what does it for me. But
I'm stuck on the second gens. I know they're just the problem child, but I'm a problem child myself, and I think me and Nick will get along very well.
And we're mechanics, and we can fix them.
That is true.
So with that, I will leave you be. I will see you next week. And very soon, we will go racing. Bye.